Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, May 5th. It is 6:26 right now. We got market opening up in about 4 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update, and we should be good to go. Looks like we are good to go here. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Links are sent out. Good. As people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. Super far out. Volatility looks pretty low today. $15-minute. $10-minute. And back down to the 1 minute here. Looks like we're good to go. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, May 5th. It is 6:29 right now. We have market opening up in about less than a minute. Breakout for today is going to be a buy, it looks like. So we'll see what happens here shortly when market opens up. Hey, Sam, morning. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Christian. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Lila. Morning, everybody. All right, ATR is currently at 12 right now, so it's pretty normal for the most part. It's nothing too crazy. We'll see what happens here on open. If you guys remember from last week, we had a lot of crazy movement here on open, and it looks like we're having crazy movement again here on open. As price kind of spikes back and forth, I'm going to mark up opening price right here. I don't believe there's any news today to look out for, so I'll take a look at the calendar real quick. Breakout is running to the upside, looks like. Let's go over here. So breakout is running right there to the upside. It's got a while ago though. It's not it's about halfway there, it looks like. But price is spiking back and forth. So for today, there's not really any, actually there is, there's high impact news at 6:45. So we got S&P Global Services PMI at 6:45. That's inflation news. We've got ISM Services prices, new orders, employment, business activity at 7. And that's about it. So 6:45 and 7 is the news that's going to be coming up. As you guys can see here, like I said earlier, this is kind of how the market was moving last week and the week before. We got this big chop right here. Nothing's really changed very much, pretty much the same thing. So let me mark up 6:45, which is right here. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of this chop here on open. A lot of indecisiveness with direction of price. It typically sets to create some sort of range. Looks like the range here was already established for the most part, but it is reestablishing the range as price continues to spike back and forth. So I'll go ahead and update this as price continues to move along. Hey, Ben, morning. Yeah, Sam said FY Bank, Europe bank holiday today. Yeah, Shiva mentioned that on Friday, so I'm not sure what holiday it is, but yes, it is a bank holiday for the UK. So, there might be some lower volatility than usual. So price spike right back up right here. The breakout's pretty much going back and forth. So we had the breakout kind of spike up halfway to TP, spike down right here, halfway stop loss, and then spike right back up almost a full TP. And it just came back down. So the breakout is still currently running at the moment. Not really too much to work with here. Price knocked out this level of liquidity here again. So I'll clean that up right there. So here's the thing, the MPSV2 for a buy has not come up yet. This might be the MPSV2 for a buy if this candle closes above this area. It's not one I'm looking to take because you can see here the volatility is kind of all over the place. So I'm not necessarily looking to take this trade here, but this is an MPSV2 for a buy if anybody's looking to take it. So I'll mark it up for you guys to follow. Again, I'm not in this position, but I'll just mark it up for you guys to follow here. The ATR is currently, let me change the ATR to 7. ATR is currently at 24 right now, so it's actually pretty low. Might have to adjust my TP stop loss lower, but we'll have to, we'll kind of just wait and see when market opens up here and smoothens out. So we currently have it set to 30.30 right here, full TP right there for the MPSV2. If anybody caught that, nice work. If you guys didn't catch it, it's okay. Just wait for the next one. Okay, cool. Yeah, CERN said it's Liberation Day here. Gotcha. Okay, so that's the holiday in the UK right now. So full TP on the MPSV2 right there. We got a buy signal, retracement, confirmation of the break and close past momentum on this candle, and it shot straight up to full TP. We set it to a 30.30 ATR because the ATR is currently at 29. My current TP stop loss is still set to 40.40, so I might have to make some adjustments back to 30.30. If this is the the average ATR. Nice. Daniel caught the entry right there. Nice work, Daniel. Where's your sessions at? I'm trying to see. Oh, my sessions is off. Oh, okay. There we go. So Daniel got in. He actually got out a little earlier right there at the sessions. Okay, so good thing I turned on the sessions because I didn't even have it on earlier. So this would have been a trade I would have possibly skipped maybe. Actually, no, it's right at the session. So this would have been okay entry. All right, some solid entry right there for anybody who caught that MPSV2. Let me take a look at the confluences here. I didn't even get a chance to look at the confluences because it was moving so fast. So yeah, there's actually okay. So there was a confluence there on the 1 minute. There was a confluence on the 30, confluence on the 1 hour. Actually, that was a good entry. Confluence is lined up. I was just kind of worried about the choppiness of the market, so I didn't want to hop in right away. Yeah, that was actually a really good entry. Volume profile had confluence, clean chart had confluence, everything had confluence actually. Yeah. Nice work, Daniel, on catching that. I didn't have a chance to really look at the confluences because it happened so quickly. I didn't really expect the entry to come up right then and there. But great work. All right, I'll be looking for that next one. Hey, Maria, morning. All right, so just kind of sit tight here, wait for the market to possibly give me a retracement and then continuation back to the upside higher. Take a look at the overall trend. I'm pretty sure it's still bullish from last week. Yeah, higher time frames are still bullish. Lower time frames are bullish as well. Overall time frames are bullish. So yeah, that buy right there that came up, pretty solid entry. Yeah, Glenn mentioned it touched opening price. Yeah, I see that right now too. It was so the setup was good. The setup was good. The confluences were good. There's just one red flag there where it was touching the opening price. I think this touching would have been a benefit though. I mean, it still would have been a red flag, but it would have been a benefit because it was a break and retest off the opening price. So price faked out above, faked out below, broken retest, and came up higher. I think let me see what the liquidity was. Okay, so this is where I think, and this is where it would have been the game changer. Because price basically came down right here. It grabbed liquidity, faked out, came up, retested, not the opening price, but it tested the liquidity and it shot up higher. So a lot of different ways to analyze this for a buy. It's all good. I mean, either way, the trade would have hit pretty directly. There's just a lot of things there that I wasn't looking at. The sessions I didn't even have on. Opening price, consider red flag. Thanks, Glenn, for mentioning that. So it's all good. It's just good to see that inch right there hit. We'll keep looking for the next one here. So ATR is still at 28. So it looks like the average might be, so it looks like we're back into normal market conditions, which is, we used to use a 30-30 fixed pretty much every trade. It's looking like that's the case here again. ATR is at 28. Looks like it's kind of sticking around that area. It's a good thing. So that's something that we do want to see. So this is one thing that we started to notice last week. On open, market tends to establish some sort of range. So we might have a range from up here. Looks like. Um, that's it down here. And then possibly right here. So I'll just leave this here for now. If price breaks out of it, I'll take it off. But it looks like price, like this is typically what we've been noticing from last week. Price tends to like break into a range and it stays within that area. It's kind of what's happening right here, right? It looks like we're currently in a range right now. Hey, what's up, Siobhan? Looks like you made it. Made it today on holiday. All right, we got price pushing back up. I'm looking for that sell signal to provide the retracement, but we don't have that yet. Shabam said tariff on movies 100% now. No rest when mullahs involved. I know, right? So if you guys are just joining in, there was one MPS V2 that came up right there at 633 on open. So we had the buy signal right here, retracement, confirmation right there, and this thing shot straight through. It ended right at the session. Some people set their TP at the sessions. The ATR is pretty low right now. I mean, it's not low, but this is normal. So it's lower than usual, but this is normal. It's like at 26. So if you guys want to switch back to your 30-30 TP stop loss, you can. I'm still keeping mine at the 40-40 for right now. I think I'll give it one more week at the 40-40, and then if the market continues to stay lower, then I'll keep it at I'll bring it back down to 30-30 or 35-35. But yeah, the 30-30 right now is the case. So if you guys sat in on the mentoring session with Nikki last Friday, we basically talked about not changing your trading plan too often, right? So what I do personally, and what I recommend other people do too, is change your trading plan on a weekly basis, not on a daily basis, because things can change, right, from week to week. So for me, I'm still at the 40-40 TP stop loss. I'll make that adjustment to the 30-30 next week. Or I'll make my adjustment with my contract sizes next week. I'm gonna leave it as is now. Same contract size, I'm gonna keep this whole week. And then next week, if I want to make adjustments, I'll make adjustments. Because the thing that and we've run into a lot, and there's the MPS V2 setting up right here. Let me see if there's confluences. Nothing on the 1 minute, 30-minute has a rejection. 1 hour doesn't have the rejection. There's nothing on the volume profile. Clean chart has rejection. That's 2 confluences. Support resistance has rejection. That's 3 confluences. So about 3 confluences right here, but we do have news in 3 minutes. So I'm not going to take this trade here. This is a high impact news event. It's going to be tricky. So if you guys are looking to take this trade here, I will mark it up for you guys. We'll follow it, but I'm not going to be taking it. Ideally, I'd like to take buys here, not really sells. The buys here look better. Got news coming up right here, 6:45, high impact. It's ISM, which is inflation news, or PMI, sorry. It's we have ISM at 7. We have PMI over here at 6:45. S&P Global Services PMI and Composite PMI. No entry there, first sell yet. This is where it's going to get a little tricky because we have news coming up, and then we have a possible buy signal. Looks like the price is having trouble getting past the sessions right here, this purple line. Respecting the range, though. Prices are respecting the range here. We got the buy signal right there. News at 6:45. News at 6:45 is forecasted to be negative. So previous month it was 54.4. It's forecasted to be 51.4. It's coming out in about 40 seconds. All right, again here, price is failing to get past these sessions right there. This is going to be tricky because if price does swing back up, we're going to have a MPS V2 for a buy. It's going to probably be on the news candle. And it's probably going to be touching the sessions right there. So this range here is being respected. You guys can see here how price just kind of bounces back and forth between the range. So we got news right here. Big spike of price back to the downside. Let me clean this up right here. Let's check the news. The news hasn't loaded yet. Check the forex factory. It was negative. Yep. So final services PMI, it was negative, just like anticipated. So it did exactly what we discussed. Negative right there. So that's pretty much what I anticipated. Anticipated the news to be negative. It was negative. Price is pushing down. So it does not look like we're getting that bullish push right now. So here's the reaction to the news. You guys see that price is pushing down pretty heavily. Not a crazy amount, but more than usual. I'm sitting tight, guys. Just sitting tight and waiting for some sort of confirmation here. All right, we have a pending sell signal right here on this red candle. Got nothing here right now. We have a pending sell signal. So if this closes, let's see the confluences for a sell here. We don't really have very many confluences for a sell. Might have to wait closer to 7 o'clock. Unless this pushes down pretty far. If it pushes down pretty far, we'll have a confluence here on the 1 hour, confluence on the 30-minute. We don't have it yet, but we have one here on the 30, but here on the 1 hour, we don't have that yet. Pending sell signal right there. This one didn't close. All right, so as you guys can see right here, this range is being respected. Whenever price breaks below it, it basically fakes out. So see how price kind of pushes up, pulls back down, fakes out right here, pulls back up, pulls down, fakes out right there again, and it pulls right back up into the range. So every time price pulls out of the range right here, it just fakes out and pulls back up. Updated the liquidity right there. Clean that up. All right, so looking at the liquidity right here, I mean, the liquidity pretty much created a range here as well. There's a high point, low point right here. What I noticed here too is, and this is something you guys might notice too, like whenever there's a new high low that's established and it lines up with a V1 or engulfing, it usually comes down pretty heavy, like this one right here. This was a higher high. There's also a V1 variation double body rejection. And this thing came down, pretty nice push right there. You gotta like really be watching for it though, because it happens so quickly. So if you guys, I mean, if you want to leave both indicators on like that, it's kind of hard to see when they're both on there like that, but yeah, you can see right there, higher high. There's also a V1 variation double body rejection. So I'll keep an eye out for that. I think that's a pretty good confluence to look at, just in case. I mean, if you're in a position, that's probably going to be very key. And again, right here, price is back into the range, just like I said, right? So what you have to do here is like, I'm not really predicting the market to do this. I'm really just looking at patterns here, right? Because I drew this range up like way before when they first cut up into this area. And I noticed that like whenever price pulls out of it, it fakes out and it pulls right back in. So, I mean, you don't have to be a genius to see this, guys. Like it's literally just patterns repeating itself. And again, right here, it's trying to come back down, right? So the fake out happened right here. Fake out happened right here. And then again, if price kind of pushes down again from this point, possibly another fake out right there. It's like a W pattern if you look at it closely. I mean, it could be a W pattern or it could be an M pattern. So this is an M pattern, but obviously the M didn't play through. That's what I'm saying. It looks like a possible W pattern right here. Back to the upside. So here's going to be the problem. We have a buy momentum here. This could be a possible MPSV2. If it comes back up right here, it could be an MPSV2. The only problem is that if it does come up this high, it's going to have to cut through the sessions right here, right? So regardless of the fact, I think if it does come back up to this point, it's going to be a red flag. It's going to be considered red flag, so it'll be touching the sessions. Yeah, Tarek said I also like it for buys if it closes above green momentum and above the session. Yeah, exactly, Tarek. That's what I'm looking for too. So that's what I would be looking for a buy entry up here, because I'd rather be up here or up here rather than down here. Because you can see the fake outs have been happening right here, and then possibly again right here. Or who knows, if we finally get a sell signal here, this might be the shift that we were looking for. All right, this might be the shift back to the downside over here, the lower range. Who knows? All right, we are getting closer to this news event right here. So 7 o'clock, we have another news event. It's a high impact ISM services PMI. This one it's forecasted to be slightly negative. So still negative, but slightly negative. So last month it was 50.8. This month is forecasted to be 50.6. Forex Factory has it even lower. So this news for sure is forecasted to be negative. So 50.2 for Forex Factory and 50.6 for FX book. So two different sources, both negative, one lower than the other. All right, so this might be an MPSV2 right here. The only problem is that it's going to be at the opening price. So we have a sell signal, green retracement candle that kind of closed at the last second, then a possible red candle right here. Let's take a look at the confluences. I don't see anything here on the 1 minute. There's a rejection here on the 30-minute, rejection now on the 1 hour. Nothing off the volume profile. There's a rejection that happened a while ago here on the clean chart. Rejection here off the resistance. I mean, this could be a setup. It's a really tricky setup though. I'd probably wait until news here after 7 o'clock. It's really close to news. So I'm gonna sit out on this. If you guys want to take this, I'll mark it up for you. ATR is currently at 27, so you probably want to use a 30-30 on this if anybody is looking to take this trade here. I don't like how this candle is moving around as well. So no entry right there. That candle is a doji, no body to the downside. So we're looking for, or if you're looking to take this entry here, you're looking for a body to the downside. If possible. Red body. So here's the thing I mentioned earlier. So see right here, we have a V1 variation. This is also a lower low. So this is a confluence I was telling you guys where it could push to the upside. So I'd be careful taking sells here. I'd probably go for the buy here, if anything. So the reason why I marked this up right here was because, like I said earlier, we have a lower low there and we have a V1 variation. So it's basically, we established a bottom down here. So this is the bottom because it's lower low. And then we had a V1 variation, which is a reversal pattern. It's the same thing that happened up here, right? We had a V1 variation and full TP right there if anybody decided to take that to the other side. There's no MPS V2 that came up there, but this confluence is pretty strong. So, whenever I see patterns, I'll show you guys because I for some reason, I could just see this stuff. Like a lot of people don't see these things on the charts, but I see everything that happens because I'm looking at the same thing every day. So like I said here, higher high, V1 variation, it came down. Right here, we had a lower low, V1 variation right there, and it shot up. So if you guys want to take a look at that, something to keep an eye out for. Christian said, this is what I don't like, 1 hour zones. Yeah, so Christian over here actually marked up the zone. It's similar range, but he marked it up on the 1 hour time frame. I agree with you, Christian. I agree with you as well. So looking at this right here, we're going to possibly get an MPS V2 for a buy. The only problem here is that we're getting close to the news price. So this MPS V2 will probably happen at news. Yeah, news coming up in about 4 minutes, less than 4 minutes actually. All right, we got price pushing up right here. Looks like this could be setting up for MPS V2 for a buy. We got news really close though, so and the news is forecasted to be negative, so I don't think I'll be able to take this entry here, unfortunately, guys. Um, yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to take this. As much as I want to take the buy here, it's going to be a really tricky entry. There's a confluence here on the 1 minute market profile, confluence on the 30 minute, confluence on the 1 hour, confluence here on the volume profile, confluence here on the clean chart. We have a rejection right here after 41,200. We have a rejection right here off the support. And there's a lot of setups over here that could possibly be setting up. The problem is we have news right here in about a minute or 2 minutes. CJ said I had to step away for a second. Did you take the V1 marked up on your chart? No. So this is what I was talking about earlier, CJ. I don't know if you heard what I talked about earlier. I said there's a high low right here. So there's a higher high that happened right here, right? And the higher high had a V1 on it. And this thing came down super heavy. So I said, look out for this if it happens again. Right here, we had a V1. And that was a lower low. And that thing pushed up from that point. So it's something to look out for. It could be a confluence. It could be an entry on your own. I mean, this could be a standalone strategy, you know? This could be it's basically a reversal entry. So like it's kind of similar to we already have a V1, V2, V3. We might even have a V4, I can't remember. But basically it's just a confluence between the higher highs, lower lows, and reversal patterns. So I marked it up right there in case that's something that anybody wants to take, but it's something that we can follow, of course. All right, so there's no MPS V2 here yet. The MPS V2 is setting up, but it's going to set up right at the 7 o'clock candle, which is going to be the news candle, guys. So I would, for me personally, I would sit out of this one. If anybody's looking to take this, I mean, this is going to be the setup for MPS V2, it looks like. So we had a buy signal here, retracement. Looks like a break and retest off this liquidity right here. This looks like it's going to be a good entry, guys. Unfortunately, I'm not going to take that risk. I'm going to hold off on it. So if anybody wants to take it, I'll follow it for you guys. But we do have news here in less than a minute. So the entry is going to happen on the news candle. And the news is forecasted to be negative on both Forex Factory and on my FX book. So it's just a little too tricky for me to want to take. Yeah, Glenn said maybe we can incorporate a strategy with this pre-news market, pre-news movement like this one. News is forecast to be negative and price climbed up. Yeah, so there goes the MPS V2, guys. Full TP on the entry if anybody caught that. I mean, anybody could take that type of entry, Glenn, but you can't really predict news, right? So the news was forecasted to be negative. Same with this one over here. The news forecasted to be negative earlier, and it was very negative. The news forecasted here to be negative, but it was actually positive, so it was way better than expected. So it was forecasted to be 50.6. It was actually 51.6. It was up by 1 point. And then same with Forex Factory over here. It's forecasted to be even lower. 50.2 is 51.6. So even both news outlets forecasted it to be negative, it was actually positive, and price spiked up right there. So if you guys caught that MPSV2, I mean, good work, but I did not take that trade there because that was the news candle. It's all good. I mean, there's no need to force anything here, right? And keep looking for the next opportunity. Yeah, I mean, news is news, Glenn. As much as I'd like to trade or put together a strategy based on news is going to be, you can't really predict it because those forecasts would be negative on both news sources, and it was obviously positive, and it shot up from here. And it doesn't even matter what the news is. Like the news could be negative or it could be positive, like the actual news, but then price could still spike the other way. So I mean, you're kind of just taking a gamble at that point if you do trade news in a sense. A lot of times news doesn't even have a big effect. All right, so we're done with news for today. Hopefully we can find an entry after this. ATR is currently at 34 right now. I'm going to go and adjust this back to 14. Still at the same. It's at 28 ATR, so we're still around the 30 range. Man, that entry had to come up at news, right? Just had to. See, Sam said it was a great MPS V2 break and retest off the V1 plus MPS V2. Yeah. Yeah, Drew said ISM usually doesn't move this crazy. It doesn't. Yeah, ISM usually is just a small move. It's not really doesn't have a big impact. The only news events that usually have big impacts are PPI, CPI, and NFP, right? That's usually the big three. ISM normally doesn't have moves like this, but like I said before, we're in a different type of market with all this other stuff going on around the world. So I think all news events should be at least as of now should be kind of given some form of thought. But yeah, like normally a lot of these news events that come up, they just don't have any effect on the market. Let's see what else we have for this. So imports, balance of trade, that usually doesn't have impact. This is supposed to be a slow week. So this is Fed week. It's usually slow until Wednesday where the interest rate news comes out. Um, so like everything here is usually kind of slow until Wednesday. Well, everything is pretty slow in general, aside from Wednesday, because that's when the interest rates come out. So it's forecasted not to change. I mean, this could change, but I don't think it's going to change this month. It might change next month. So I think in the summer we're going to have a cut, maybe a quarter percentage. Um, but I don't think much is going to happen, especially because Powell hasn't really spoken this week, right? Let me see. Has Powell spoken? Yeah, so here's the breaking news for today. It says Berkshire Hathaway shares fall 6% after shocking Buffett exit and earnings decline. Yeah. So it says Warren Buffett's surprise announcement to step down and envision a new path for the conglomerate after his legendary 60-year run. Yeah. So Warren Buffett is stepping down. That's crazy. Warren Buffett is 94 years old. It's nuts. So it looks like they're going to be led by someone else. All right, so we got nothing here right now, guys. Price is coming back down. Um, so I can move this down a little bit. Just clean up this range. There we go. A little bit too. All right, so I just cleaned up that range right there. The range was a little messy. It's a little more balanced now. So we have the lower range right here. We have the upper range right here. The price is kind of spiked up from this point. And there's another V1 right there. It came down kind of sharp. Yeah, Daniel said your V1 from higher high played out again. Yeah, from this area. So again, guys, it's just something to look out for. If you guys want to look at that as a confluence, it seems to play out. I mean, if you want to, for the people who want to trade riskier strategies, you can like that can be a entry for you guys. Not one I would take, but for the riskier traders. Let's see. Mike said I may have to start eating McDonald's daily so I can live in that shape at 94. I know it's crazy, right? Warren Buffett. This guy's 94 years old. He looks healthier than ever. I mean, he looks like he hasn't changed at all as after these years. And yeah, Warren Buffett eats McDonald's breakfast every year, right? That's every day. That's what he does. Daniel said it'll preserve your insides, right? Let's see. Tarek said stepped away for a bit. Do we get negative or positive news? The news was positive. So this one right here was positive. It was forecast to be negative though, Tarek. So on Forex Factory and on my FX book, it was both forecasted to be negative on two different news sources, but it was positive, like very positive. It was up by 1 point. So it was forecast to be 50.6. It was actually 51.6. So it pushed up and then price reacted to it. But something that Drew mentioned in the chat as well is that the ISM news usually doesn't move like this. Like for all the years that I've been trading, I usually don't see any reaction to the ISM news. It's like a small reaction. But today there was a pretty decent move. All right, let's see if we can find an entry here. So the thing I'm looking for here is I'm looking for any opportunity here for entry on MPSV2. The only problem is that now that price is kind of up here, we're getting close to the sessions up here. So we're starting to get some red flags around this area. 30-minute time frame, there's no market profile to really look at. So I was hoping price was going to close down here. So we have some rejection points on the 30-minute, but we didn't. So same with the 1 hour. We don't really have many confluences above like where price is currently at right now. Like we would need to price to actually come down pretty heavily and then bounce up from there. Nothing here on the volume profile. Nothing really here on the clean chart. I mean, price is rejecting off this. So basically faked out. Looks like it came up, faked out, came down, faked out, came right back up. It's really just ranging now. So it looks like it's ranging between these two whole numbers right here. Between the 31,350 and the 41,350 and 41,300. Right here on the support resistance chart, we have a range here as well. So this price is respecting this range down here down the middle. I didn't draw any new zones, guys. These are the zones from last week. So I drew these support resistance zones on Friday last week. Haven't touched them. Just left them as is. All right, we got a buy signal right here. Mike said if I ate McDonald's every morning, I'd be so fat. I'd have to move around on a rascal. Right? The crazy thing is if I'm like, I don't know what it is about McDonald's breakfast, but like whatever type of day I'm having, if I'm having any bad day at all, like McDonald's is my go-to. It's like a stress reliever for me. Like if I ever have a bad trading day or anything in general, like, well, I usually don't have bad days because I'm good with my psychology now. I don't really get upset by losses and stuff like that. But back in the day when I would lose or whatever, I didn't feel good about my training day. I would skip the gym and I would go to McDonald's and get breakfast and then come back home or to my office and then just review my trades like pretty much all day. Like it was a good thing, but it was a bad thing because like so here's the thing whenever you guys lose a trade, it's good to journal and to review your trade, but it's not good to overanalyze, right? Because I that's what I used to do before. Whenever I'd have a losing day, even though it was a good losing day, like it was a fair loss, I would still go back and I would review that trade like for hours and hours and hours to try to figure out what I can do differently. And that was a problem because I was always looking to change my strategy around. So, you know, the It's the same thing with that's the same that I would tell you guys, right? Like there's analysis paralysis. Like if you know your strategy is good, you can only improve it so much. If you try to improve it too much, then you're going to end up changing your strategy completely. So that's one thing that I started to follow and started to really implement over the past year or so is really like stick to one strategy, like what we're doing this year. I'm sticking to the MPSV2 and I'm not really making adjustments to it. I'm just sticking with it and continuing with it for the whole year, basically. Because old me would, as soon as I have a loss or something like that, I would change it up. But I don't do that anymore. All right, there's an MPSV2 that's setting up right here, guys. This is going to be a problem because it's going to be right at the sessions. It's not one that I'm looking to take here. There's no way that we're going to be able to get an entry where it's not going to be above the sessions. Like, because it would have to close literally on the dot right here. And I don't think that's going to happen. It's either going to close below it or it's going to close like slightly above it like this. And it's going to have to cut into the session. So this is an MPSV2, but like I said, it's going to have to cut into the session. So it's not one that I'm necessarily looking to take here. So if you guys want to take it, I marked it up for you guys right there. I don't think there's very many confluences here, so it's kind of tough. But yeah, the red flag is right down the middle. So, I mean, it looked like it could be good. It was at that red flag. And also like the thing that that I always remember is that today's Monday. We have a whole week ahead of us, so I don't have to force any trades here. There's no need to force anything. And there you go. See how price faked out at the sessions? This is exactly why I would have skipped it. I've seen it happen too many times, guys. Where price gets to the sessions, fakes out, comes back down, stops you out, comes right back up, hits your TP. It's not a good feeling. So I'm gonna take this off real quick, or I guess I'll take it off for now and we'll put it back up if necessary to check on it later. But I don't want you guys to think that I'm in the position, but you guys can see that clean rejection off the sessions right there. Let's see, Drew said slap grape jam inside the McMuffin breakfast sandwich. You'll thank me later. I'll have to try that, Drew. Yeah, I'll have to try that. I usually have those jellies with the pancakes. I kind of prefer with the pancakes versus the syrup or both. Yeah, I'll have to try that with the with the sausage McMuffin at some point. The thing is I haven't had McDonald's in a while. I've been pretty good with staying away. I used to have McDonald's once a week. Like up until like last year. I used to have McDonald's at least once a week. And the thing is, it's because we usually have like one trading day, which is kind of iffy. And that iffy day, I was like, all right, I'm gonna drive straight to McDonald's, get my breakfast, and then review everything. Yeah, Adam said hungry this morning. I'm hungry, man. I'm hungry this morning. We went to the Beyonce concert yesterday, so I got home super late. Like at like 1 a.m. So I was like, fuck, I barely got any sleep. And I'm like, man, my whole week's screwed. I wasn't supposed to go yesterday, but Angie had an extra ticket with her friend, so I ended up having to go. So still no entry here. TJ said steak and egg McMuffin is good. Do they have? I've seen the steak, egg, and cheese McMuffin in like different areas, but I don't think they have them here in California. But I've seen them in like different countries. I haven't tried it though. I should have. I think they have it in Hawaii. Let's see. Kyle said, "Is it true there were a lot of empty seats?" So sorta. I saw like there's like little pockets of empty seats, but I mean it was pretty packed. There was like there's like a pocket of empty seats in like certain areas, but like for the most part, it was pretty packed. There was empty seats like on the top, like the very top. And like at SoFi where they have that the screen, they didn't use a screen. So it was kind of like it was harder for people on the top to see. But it wasn't super empty. I mean, there was a lot of people there for a Sunday. All right, we have a possible setup over here. Actually, we don't. Never mind. Take that back. No setup here. We have a sell signal that came up, or we might get one here. So we got a sell signal that came up. This could be a retracement, and if it comes back down lower, and there's too many red flags in this area, guys. So if you look over here, if we do get an entry here for a sell, there's going to be news price right here, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because that could be a target. If price does decide to come back down lower, this could be the target that price reaches for. He might. Yeah, so this trade over here didn't play out the earlier MPSV2. It rejected directly off the sessions right there. The sell does not look like it's going to come up. We might have one over here for a buy. Yeah, did you say it's going to range here consolidation? Yeah, I see that, right? It looks like it's going to create a new range. This is pretty much what we've been seeing a lot lately. This happens a lot during a summer market, so it's not, this isn't unusual, okay, guys? So for those of you who are kind of new, this isn't unusual. We go into a ranging market. I mean, it's a little unusual for May, but this is not a typical market. But usually in the summer, this is how the market typically looks. We get a lot of consolidation, a lot of ranging. You can see over here, it's a little more obvious on the bottom side. We had this right here below, this right here above, and then price is now establishing a new range up here. Daniel said it would be good if it pushes up hard past the sessions and gives us an entry. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm looking for, Daniel. I'm looking for price to maybe get a big buy signal or a strong buy signal, retrace, and then come back up higher from there. Ideally, that's what I'd like to see. And like, okay, so we got the buy signal here, but it didn't really push up. So we would need to get a couple green candles or maybe a few green candles to push up at least, retrace just slightly, and then climb back up from there. We are at 29 ATR. The ATR hasn't died down too much yet, but it is a little slower. So there goes that consolidation that Drew just mentioned. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it just stays and consolidates down here. There's no more news for today. So this is Fed week, guys, I believe. It's kind of weird because Fed week is usually the third week of the month. But it happened to be the second week. So this year's kind of been a little unusual with the set news dates. Yeah, it's been a little different because usually it's like NFP first week and inflation week second week, Fed week third week, and then I think it's like I forgot what the fourth week is, but it's like a slower week. Like home sales and retail sales and stuff like that. But for this specific month, I believe we're in week 2 of May, and it's considered Fed week already. Let me check next week. Yeah, so they're kind of flipped. So for this month, the inflation week is next week. We have CPI next week, PPI next week. Yeah, it's weird. And then the following week we have retail sales. Unless they change the dates. All right, so we have an MPSV2 that is setting up right here, guys. Obviously not one that I'm looking to take because it's going to be right at the sessions. It's going to be right at the sessions. Obviously not one that I'm looking to take. Let's see, question from Shabam. Shabam's asking, can you go over the concept of once it tests the red flag, you can ignore it for the next possible entry? As you know, you've mentioned that a few times. Let me know if I need to be more clear. So I don't necessarily ignore red flags. I ignore news price. That's the only thing that I ignore, Shabam. Because the thing is, so when news price is set up, it's like, so for example, right here, see how news came up at 7 o'clock? Price came and tested it already, right? So once it's tested, it's not as important as it was before. Because what happens a lot of times is, so for example, here, news was positive, right? News has that initial push because it was positive, and then it corrects back down to news. That's where it's important. But now that it's already tested it, it doesn't really matter if it tested again, right? Because what importance does that make? It's not like NFP or something like that. So that's what I mean by it. So with news price, I don't really care too much when it retests. Like for example, the 645 news that happened right here, right? So same thing here, the same difference. See how news was negative here at 645, it pushed down, and then it came up and tested it already, right? So now that it came back down right here, when it came back for a second time, I was like, it didn't really matter because it already came back and corrected to that area. Does that make sense, Siobhan? So like basically the reason why you're focusing on news, like the correct, if the price pushes up, then it comes back down, or vice versa here, comes down, then it goes back up. So just something to keep in mind. I mean, nonetheless, news should still be so like somewhat important. So like be aware that that's news price, because price does sometimes tend to come back to it. So for example, here, I wouldn't be surprised if price comes back right here and then it retests it at some point. But if I was to get an entry that was, so say for example, if I got a sell entry here and it was going to cut through the news price, then I would have been okay with taking it because I'm like, okay, it's already tested in the previous. Yeah, no problem. Looks like, yeah, Shivam said another good example of MPS near red flag, which hit stop loss, I think. Yeah, exactly. So there's another MPS V2. There's a buy signal, price pushed up, retrace, came back up right here. It was right at the red flag, 18 points. So yeah, again, this is another example of why I don't trade at the sessions. These are the red flags that are really important. So the sessions are the ones that I really pay attention to. The news price, not so much. Opening price, a little more. So if you're looking at levels of importance for the red flags, it's going to be sessions, opening price, and then news price. The reason why opening price is important is because it kind of acts similar to the sessions, right? Because the sessions mark up the session highs and the session lows, and the opening price will just it's always the opening price for any session. So that's the order of importance for red flags. The news price, not so much. It kind of depends on like what news event. Like if it was a big news event and if it has been tested yet. What's up, Steven? Steven said overslept. You missed the breakout, Steven. I mean, the one day that you slept in, the breakout hit full TP right there with like nice push, and it pushed even further. So unfortunately, you missed it on the breakout today, Steven. I swear the breakout knows when you're not on here, Steven, because every time you don't show up, it hits, and then when you actually take it, it doesn't hit. It's all good. Try again tomorrow. Yeah, Steven said for now he's skipping the breakout. Yeah, which is fine. I did the same thing. All right, so here goes the consolidation area, guys. It's pretty much been ranging within this. I drew this range a long time ago. So like when it initially pulled up into this area, like around 7 o'clock, I drew this range. And it's been consolidating and ranging here since Drew mentioned it as well. I wish there was a timestamp on that chat here so I can see. Because I don't remember when you mentioned it, but we both kind of looked at it at the same time. It was around like a little bit after news, I think. Around 7. So about 30 minutes ago, we identified this range here. And price has been in this range for a bit. Typical Monday. I mean, Mondays are usually kind of tricky. Like I've said in the past, guys, Mondays and Fridays are two of the riskier days to trade during the week. The reason for that is because people are re-entering the market on Monday from closing out the positions on Friday, and Friday because people are exiting for the weekend. So you get like a rush of volatility on either side, whether if people are trying to pull out from a buy position or people are trying to pull out from a sell position, you get a lot of volume, a lot of unpredictable volume. I think that's a better word for it because volume is volume, but Mondays are a little unpredictable because you got people entering, you got people kind of adjusting their positions, you got people kind of just in there. And that's why we go into this consolidation sometimes. Like you can see over here on open, we get like this choppiness because people are entering for the new week and then it just flattens out because people are in their positions already. And you got people adding on to it and then it flattens out because people are in their position already. So you get these big pushes for short period and then it ends up flattening out once once everyone's in their positions by then. So we have a buy signal right here that's currently pending, guys. I was hoping it closed up here. So if that buy signal closed up here, that would have been a nice confluence because we would have had that nice push and then possible continuation up higher from there. But I don't like how they close like this, right? Kind of similar to what happened with this one over here. Like I need price to actually push and push pretty hard out of this area. Nothing there. It's like we're gonna be waiting for a little bit. It's about to be 7:30. So I actually want it to be 7:30 because I want this 30-minute candle to establish new market profile. So once that closes, we'll have a better idea of like where market profile is sitting. CJ said it's Cinco de Mayo when everyone is going through the motions until lunchtime. I know. Remember last year, CJ? I mean, you said the same thing, but it was the opposite. Like, remember last Cinco de Mayo last year? Like, oh, everyone's because it was like market open on this on because Cinco de Mayo was on a Sunday, and you're like everyone's still drunk from Cinco de Mayo, so the markets were slow. If you've been trading with us long enough, it's like it's funny because you guys start to notice things that like other people don't notice, right? Because not everyone trades all year round like us, so. You'll start to realize how the markets kind of shift and how they are and how they're supposed to be and how they're not supposed to be on a daily basis, like throughout the seasons. Yeah, last year was super slow for Monday after Cinco de Mayo. It was like unusually slow. Yeah, CJ said the ATR started out at 17, ended in 10 by mid-session. Yeah, that was when it was super, super slow. At least right now we're still at 30, which is great. So we have an MPSV2 that's setting up right here, guys. It's not one that I'm looking to take because it's going to be right at the sessions again. So we had a buy signal here, retracement, confirmation of continuation right there. So yeah, if anybody's looking to take that there, this is going to be entry for MPSV2. The only problem here is that it's going to be right, like literally at the sessions. So not one that I would recommend taking. If you guys want to take it though, it's really up to you guys. All right, I'm gonna take this off. I want you guys to think I'm in the position. Another good example of why we don't trade at the sessions. See how price gets near the sessions and then it comes all the way back down. Nothing new here. Just gotta wait. See what happens next. What a slow day today. I mean, it's no surprise, but yes, slow day. I was hoping to squeeze one in today, but let's see. Oh, what a slow market. All right, so we're still stuck in this consolidation area, guys. Again, like I said, we're stuck at this. Well, we're stuck in the consolidation. We're also stuck at the sessions right here. Price is kind of just going back and forth at the moment, so there's nothing really to take here. There's an MPSV2 that's currently running, but not one I'd recommend taking. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's still technically running right now, but the entry was like it literally at the sessions. Let's see, Shabam said 3 MPS for the buy side near red flag. I'll hit stop loss. Third one is still running, yeah. So that last one right there is still running. But you can see here, so if I can probably make some adjustments here to the range. There we go. So just a small little adjustment there to kind of balance it out so you can kind of see where price is sitting. And it hasn't really gone anywhere. So I'm in no rush to take anything. I'm just waiting for the market to show me what I need. Once I see something good, then I'll look to take it. But as of now, I just don't see anything so great. Yeah, Shivam said we may get a nice breakout like we did last Friday, which gave a solid entry. Yeah, that's kind of what I was waiting for here too. Because I mean, there was no confluences here anyways. If you look here on the 1 minute, there's like literally nothing on the market profile. I mean, there might be one like right there, but it's a long shot. So yeah, we do have a rejection right there, but that happened a while back. Same with the 30 minute over here. There's not really, I mean, there isn't any market profile here at all. I was hoping once we got to that 7:30 candle, the market profile would adjust a little bit, but it just hasn't. I have one right here on the 1 hour. So the sells here actually do look pretty decent because there's a value high line right there that kind of extends out kind of far right here. There's just not that many confluences. There's like one on the 1 hour, there's one on the 1 minute, clean chart possibly, but it's really just been sitting here this whole time. So I want to consider it a super clean entry. And then possibly right here off the resistance. So yeah, Drew said literally no movement. Sam said 41,265 liquidity sweep or break for me would be ideal, or just a blast up and retest. Yeah, a break out of this area would be ideal for us, right? Just in general. If it's to the upside or if it's to the downside, doesn't really matter. It's just a movement in that direction would be ideal for both of us. Break above, retest, break below, retest. Doesn't really matter. We just want to see some sort of direction there. Got nothing really going on here right now. Get that push up right there finally. Yeah, Shivam said break up MPS pending soon, maybe. Daniel said push hard, please. So there we go. We finally have price pushing out of the range. We have a possible buy signal here setting up. So this is kind of what we were looking for and what we were talking about from last Friday. So we'll see here what we got next. Big order right there for a buy, looks like. It's got the notification right there. Yeah, 50 contracts for a buy at 41,400. It's got filled right here. I'm gonna put a line right here just to identify that. So 50 contracts just got filled. It's not a huge order, but it's a decent order nonetheless. All right, we got that buy signal right there. Price is starting to finally push to the upside. We got that buy signal at close. See what we got here. All right, so I do like this setup right here. We have a buy signal, price pushed up. This is where that big order for buys came in. So I'm looking for price to close below and then close back above. Because if it closes back above, that means that they're adding back onto the position or people are starting to bandwagon onto it. So I like the setup here. Push up, retrace, break and retest, continuation up higher. Problem is the ATR is currently at 25. So I'm gonna have to go in with the 40-40, but I'm probably going to adjust my TP stop loss to like 30-30 once sets up. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of confluences here, but I mean, the next target push point is going to be that point of control up there. Yeah, for the 30-minute and the 1 hour. Volume profile has a rejection off the bottom end right there. Clean chart rejection right here off the 41,400. And then basically a push away from the resistance here. Let me go on the 5-minute real quick. I'm going to see if there's any zones here. There's not any zones up here. It's too far up. This is a pretty big one right here. Yeah, this thing's starting to take off now. Starting to take off. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get into this. Our time frames, 1 hour. Back to the 1 minute. Let's see if it retests back. Yeah, so this would have been ideal if it was like down here. It's like retracement stuff hasn't happened yet. So nothing. Okay, I said someone tell a bus driver we didn't hop on yet. Tarek said push too far up. I would want to see a deep retracement and close above, which I don't think will happen. Yeah. So this is a possible MPSV2. I don't really like how the candle here is, but I mean we'll see. I mean the setup looks like it couldn't possibly set up here. Let me check this real quick. There's a V1 right there. So this is what I don't like. I don't think I'm gonna take this entry, guys, because see right here we have the higher high. And this is also an engulfing. So this is the pattern that I mentioned earlier, right? If we had a lower low right here, and then we had that V1, then I would have been okay with taking a buy here. But because we have the higher high right here and we have an engulfing reversal pattern, I think price is going to come down from here. So I'm not going to take this trade. This thing just pushed up way too far for me to want to hop in it. And then also, yeah, so there's an MPSV2 is currently running right now. Also, there just isn't any confluences for a buy, right? We have nothing here on the 1 minute. We have nothing here on the 30-minute. Price already reached the point of control. This is the target that I was aiming for, and price already reached it, so it's a little too late for that. Yeah, there just isn't any confluences here, so I don't think that's like a really good entry to take. If you guys want to take it, I've marked it up for you guys, but it just doesn't look like it doesn't look like one of those solid entries that I would feel really comfortable taking. Yeah, Shivam said that 340 candle is going to be a solid entry. Estimate it had to flick up last second. Yeah, this thing pushed up just way too far at this point. This would have been a perfect entry right here, guys. I was really looking to take this right here if it came up around this area, but it just pushed up way too far. And at that point, I think it was overextended. Plus, I have confluences over here that don't really look good for buys at the moment. So if you guys want to take it, it's marked up right there. I'm not in this position. I'm just playing it. I'm playing it safe, guys. It's early in the week. It's Monday. Have a whole week ahead of us. My main goal for each week is really to have, a net 2-3 wins. So I'll follow it right here. So Sam's in it right now. It looks like Sam might be going for a smaller target. He typically goes for like 25. So I think that 25 could get hit right there, Sam. Because you're below that right there. I know you typically go with that 25. I think the 30 is well, the 40 is for sure a long shot. 30 is a little pushing it because you're going to be like right at that line. Looks like your 25 is about to get hit, or 20, right? So Sam looks like his target got hit. Sam actually got out at 20. The entry's still running. Let's see. Shabam's asking if this is an A++ setup. So let's see, MPS V2 right here, V1 engulfing. Yeah, so this would be, or yeah, no, this candle right here that just closed would be the A++. So there's multiple trades running across with it. Again, I think this is just a tricky trade to be in. There's just a lot of things pointing in different directions. Yeah, Sam said his sell is at 41,460. Yeah, you're looking for that liquidity grab up here, right? Makes sense. Yeah, I mean it's an A++ setup, but it's still not one that I would take because of, I mean, every confluence that I kind of looked at here. Personally, just not like I'm not liking the price action or the market structure. Looks like no trades for me today. It's gonna look like it's all good though. I mean, of course, I would ideally want to take a trade, but I don't feel pressed to take anything right now. Yeah, it's kind of like that's the best way to feel when in a trading day. It's really, if you don't feel the urge to really FOMO into anything, I think that's when your psychology's at where it should be. Because on a normal day, I'd probably want to FOMO into this A++ setup when Siobhan mentioned it, because there are confluences here, but if I look at the market profile, there's just nothing here. Like there's no rejections on the bottom end on the 30. I don't see anything over here on the 1 hour. There's obviously nothing here on the 1 minute. Nothing on the volume profile. I mean, there was a rejection down here, but this is pretty far off. Clean chart, don't really see much here. There was a rejection right here at the 41,400. Yeah, I don't see anything here kind of really make me want to take a buy at the moment. Earlier, I was able to, like down here, I want to take buys, but over here, not so much. And you guys can see how the market's pretty flat right here. Hasn't hit either direction. It's pretty much just consolidating sideways. Two trades running alongside each other. Nothing's going on. So market here is pretty much flat. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hop in the chat. It's 7:50 right now. We're getting closer to 8 o'clock. This is when the volatility starts to die down. Um, I mean, it's no surprise. Yeah, Sam said, like you said, I also did not like that it did not retrace properly. Yeah. I mean, not to say that the price is not going to push up. I think price will still continue to push up. It's just not moving in the direction that, we would be wanting it to, of course. Nothing's going on here. We're not really getting a push up or a push down. Let me just take this, or let's go to the clean chart. So you guys can see over here, there's just nothing. There's nothing going on here. Price is literally going sideways. I mean, if you guys aren't in the position, I don't recommend getting into it. There's just like really no reason to get into it. Let's see, Shivam said he's out for the day. Yeah, all right, Shivam, we'll see you back here tomorrow. The Shivam's done for the day. I don't really see anything happening here. Price has pretty much been flat for the past, say, 10, 15 minutes now. This thing's flat, guys. Let's see. Shabam said price action. ATR was too low for me. Big push happened. That would have been my entry point. It was so nice. Yeah, there's just nothing here to take, guys. I mean, as much as I'd love to take an entry today, I'm not going to force anything. I want to conserve my capital for a better trading day. There's two news events today this morning, so let's go back to our charts. I mean, you guys can see here, there's nothing that's going on right now specifically. This is like the worst time to enter a position because the volatility is flat and the ATR is down to 20. So if you enter a position right now, you're pretty much going to be trapped in this position for the next probably 20 to 30 minutes, if not longer. This doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to hit, but it's going to take a while and it's going to stress you out. So I'm not going to get into anything right now. Entries for today that we noticed. So right here on open, this was actually a pretty good entry. It just happened too early in the session. I typically don't trade this early, but Daniel caught it and he identified it as a perfect entry. There was confluences on every single confluence chart that we were looking for. The volatility was a little crazy, but and it also was touching opening price, but otherwise everything here was in a good setup. So this one here was probably the only good entry for today at 633. Also, the breakout for today hit full TP right there. Looking over here, also after we had another entry that showed up. Well, this wasn't an entry. This is more of a confluence. There was a higher high or a lower low right here with the V1, and that shot up. This one over here was an MPS V2 for a buy, but it was at red flag news price. And that was about it. I don't really see anything else here. There's another trade that's currently running at the moment. So here's the MPS V2 from earlier. So like I said before, it wasn't that I didn't think the trade was going to hit. It was just going to take a while for it to hit. It's probably going to hit right here. It's on its way up. It just took, I mean, this thing took a while. So this thing took about like 10 minutes for it to get to this point here. It's in profit, more than halfway, about 70% to full TP. About a hit right there. Full TP on the MPS V2 here. So if you guys caught that, and then full TP on the A++. So Steven and Shavam, I don't know if you guys got both of those, but Steven, you should be out with profit now. And Shavam should be out with profit as well. If you guys took the MPS V2 or the A++. So this just shows you that the strategy still works. It's perfectly fine. The only thing here is that, I mean, you got to be able to weather the storm because this thing you would have held on to it for more than 10 minutes. So if you guys caught that entry there, nice work. Steven, you should be out in profit already. I know you entered super late, but glad that you were able to lock some in there. Nice. Okay, so Steven made half profit in his personal account. Solid work. All right, guys, I think this might be it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Again, if you guys are interested in mentorship and you guys want to learn how to identify these entries, use my tools, use my strategies, etc. Here are my stats for the year so far. So for the month, I'm currently up 110,000. I took two trades last week for May. So May 1st, I made 75,000. May 2nd, I made 34,000. If you guys want to learn how to like set your accounts up to like copy and take multiple trades, I show you basically everything from A to Z. I only have two slots open here for May. One of them just got taken, so I might just have one more slot for May open if anybody's looking to be mentored. Here are my stats for the year so far. So here's my from January 1st. This is year to date. From January 1st up until May 5th. And this is the upwards projection from there. I'm only taking one strategy. So if you guys do want to participate in this mentorship, I'm basically gonna teach you how to trade the MPSV2 and take it exactly how I do. So these are my stats for the year. I've only taken maybe like one or two trades per day. Usually suffer one loss per day, and then I usually call it a day. So my risk reward is like it's pretty ironclad. And then here are my stats for the year. So basically, this is if you're going to count the breakouts beginning of the year at 78% win ratio. But if we were to just look at the win ratio from January 20th, which is when I started taking the NPSV2 only, up until today, May 5th, the win ratio is a bit higher. It's actually at 80.52%. So 80% win ratio for just one strategy for the whole year. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. I think this is going to be it for the day because I'm not seeing any other entries coming up here. Yeah, CJ's did no losses, so I'd say today is good. And CJ's about to go get a fishbowl margarita, right? So celebrate your Cinco de Mayo. But yeah, other than that, guys, I think that's it. We'll be back here, same place, same time tomorrow. Let me check my calendar. Yeah, we'll be back here tomorrow for the next live session. For tomorrow, let me check the calendar real quick. So we have pre-market news over here, but we don't really have anything during the actual day. So that's good. But yeah, if you guys want to hop in on the session tomorrow, feel free. Otherwise, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Don't have any profits post up because I didn't take anything, but that's fine. And we'll conserve this capital for a better trading day. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Happy Cinco de Mayo for those of you who are going to celebrate today.